Hi, this is Jeremy Brennan with quaternions Software Solutions. Today I'll be demoing a really small project I did over the weekend. So it's just a small challenge to learn a little bit more about the Java programming language and more specifically about its OpenGL bindings. So I do know Java, I've known it for a while. I think it was actually one of my first programming languages. But I haven't touched it for years, and just thought it'd be kind of fun to be able to prototype video games very quickly. So let me go ahead and run the game. It's called SpaceCore. All it is a really simple flight simulator related to spaceships and kind of like a flat, infinite world. Later on, I'll see if I could go ahead and create a way where I could fly around in space and land on planets, though that's an interesting challenge on its own. So right now, we have the third-person view right behind the ship itself. So let me start flying the ship. I turned up the velocity. You could go ahead and rotate around. The world has a ton of little 3D models that I went ahead and made in Blender and just imported through a .object file. None of the material files are loaded. All of these textures are just randomized. And the wireframes are actually on purpose, just kind of stylization thing. You'll also notice, and this is one of the features that I experimented with most, would be the little shadow on the ground. So the shadow has been a really interesting experiment just because there's no formal way to make shadows in OpenGL. So one of the approaches I initially did was just to create a shader. The shader was nice, but computationally really kind of slow, and also if I did play around with the quality, I could get it to run relatively fast, but it just looked terrible. So instead what I did is something called volumetric shadows or volumetric lighting. The idea is that all of the light points go ahead and create vectors to each point on the model, and then those vectors are essentially lines go ahead and intersect whatever you want them, in this case the ground plane, and then you could go ahead and flatten out the object. So you've got this nice smooth shadow on the ground. Later on what I might do is blend the shadow with the ground color. Right now it's just a simple fill, so we're filling whatever the shadow is with just a gray color. Also, you'll notice that the flight mechanics are relatively quote-unquote real-world-ish. The idea is that you could go ahead and rotate the plane based on turning it left or right, and then you have to pull up. So it's just kind of an interesting little flight simulator. It's a great experiment. Looking back, I can't believe I haven't been using Java and LWJGL to develop more game prototypes. I think it might be my fault for focusing on native languages a little bit too much. Also, just a quick note, I haven't turned on physics in this demo just because I wanted to be able to fly around a little bit more comfortably while talking. If you want, I'll be posting the source code on my website so people can go ahead and play with it. Everyone is invited. Fully open source, do whatever you want with it, and hopefully if you do something cool with it, just send me a quick little email. So again, the website is Cores2, that's CORES2.com. Thanks for watching.